Kusanagi was a wimp loser with no hope of ever rising a baddie. However, this all changes when he slays God and becomes a low-budget Kratos. Now the hottest baddies and the strongest goddesses are eager to taste his new godly sausage and clap him. On the day he acquired his powers, Kusanagi was making his way to a station. He pulls out the tablet he got from his granddad, which he was supposed to deliver to a mysterious woman on that island. And just then a blonde bimbo starts talking to him in a language he can't comprehend. She suddenly pulls out a London essential equipment and tells him to hand over the tablet, as she recognizes it as a grimoire. Suddenly they hear a loud noise and this makes them panic. Just then they spot giant Pumbaa in flames close by, which she calls a heretic god. As he tries to get more details about it, she tells him to get away from there and rushes towards the beast. After Ariana does a Dominic Toretto-level driving to get Erica there, she tells Ariana to get to safety and pulls a Mary Poppins move to get closer to the beast. She then channels her inner Doctor Strange and pulls a sword from her inventory. Following this, she throws a Getsuga Tenshu at it, but this does not affect it, making her realize it's a divine beast. While she battles it, Kusanagi is busy running around looking for her and soon bumps into Varethragna, who asks if the tablet belongs to him. This confuses Kusanagi, and Varethragna proceeds to introduce himself as the Gojo of their universe, who can whoop anyone's butt. Just then, he spots Erica moving like Toji Fushiguro, but before he can follow her, Varethragna hands him the tablet, saying he entrusts it to him, then summons his ride before disappearing. Back in the battle, Erica is blown off the roof by the beast, and unlike Andrew Garfield's MJ, Kusanagi can catch her before she hits the floor. Suddenly, the beast disappears into thin air, and this schools the two. Afterward, Kusanagi finds out more about what's going on from Erica, and she explains that the beasts, like the one that just appeared, are entities that slip out of the realm of mythology to Earth, bringing disaster along. She further explains that these monsters are seen as natural disasters to normal eyes, but those with magical powers know that they're beasts. She expresses her surprise that Kusanagi doesn't know about them even when he has a very powerful grimoire with him. In his defense, he says that his grandfather sent him to simply return it to someone called Zola, and this surprises Erica as she reveals that Zola is a very powerful witch. This is news to Kusanagi because he thought he was on an algebraic journey to find one of his granddad's exes, since the man was a player. While they wait for a train, he asks her why she's still following him, and she claims that she's doing so just to monitor the grimoire, saying that he should be grateful she doesn't forcefully collect it from him, which pisses him off since she threatened him before then. Later on, Ariana drives them to their destination, and Kusanagi realizes the true meaning of driving someone crazy as he thanks the heavens that he's alive. Just then, they meet black-colored Garfield, asking what business they have there, so Erica states that they're there to meet Zola. When she takes them to her, Kusanagi is surprised to see a Victoria's Secret model since he pictured her with more wrinkles than an elephant's skin, and she explains that she doesn't age like a normal human while acting like an exotic dancer not meant for kids. After Kusanagi hands her the grimoire his granddad sent, she takes a quick look at it and identifies it as Prometheus, a very powerful grimoire, and when Erica asks what she intends on doing with it, she says she'd prefer not to have it since it'd attract a lot of dangerous people. She then asks if anyone saw Kusanagi with the grimoire and he tells her about Varethragna, so she tosses it back to him, claiming that the tablet was fated to be with him. This pisses Erica off as she believes that he is too much of a novice to handle such a powerful tool. Later that night, she decides to test her liver as she drowns herself in wine and Ariana follows in her footsteps, forcing Kusanagi to take responsibility for her. Later on, he takes her to her room to sleep and his trouser dragon is awakened while he makes her comfortable, before laying her in bed. However, he realizes the doors are locked, which makes him freak out, and on the other side, Zola tucks the key away, wishing him good luck on his journey to becoming a man. The next morning, as Erica is about to send him to meet Tenjiro's family, they suddenly hear a loud noise outside and rush into the heavy storm to see what it is. Soon after, they spot a crossbreed of Galactus and Poseidon wandering around, and Erica immediately identifies it as the powerful king of gods. While she tries to get its attention, a mysterious figure attacks it, and it goes after the figure to fight it. Seeing this, Erica makes up her mind to stop them, and Kusanagi states how dangerous it is. However, Erica still decides to go after them, since they'll wipe out the island if they fight. While they head towards it, Kusanagi recalls the conversation he had with Zola about the tablet. She told him that it gave the wielder the ability to steal other gods' powers. Also mentioned that Erica was a genius mage who was pressured to protect the humans from the battle of the gods. As they arrive at their destination, they spot Varethragna, who is taunting Melkart before they can fight. Erica jumps in to use Talk no Jutsu on them to spare the island, and she fails to convince them since they don't give a damn about the island. As they're about to send her to heaven, Kusanagi arrives in time to save her, and convinces Melkart to team up with him to fight Varethragna, which he agrees to. This pleases Varethragna as he just wants to throw hands for the love of the game, and as he attacks, Melkart sets up a barrier around him. Just then, Varethragna summons one of Jinwoo's daggers and starts cutting through the barrier, which makes Erica panic. Seeing this, she tells him to run away, but he refuses to back down and decides to use the power of the tablet to fight even though it may destroy him. This rizzes her up and she prints her lip on his cheek as a good luck charm. Following this, he fires a Kamehameha at the dude and steals the sword, then asks Erica what his next move is. She then makes her move on him instead, giving him a power boost, and he proceeds to use his Bankai to create an extra hole in Varethragna, slaying him. A couple of days later, Kusanagi finds himself lying in a white room and sees a chick there, yapping about him meeting the conditions of being reborn as a champion. Just then, he jumps out of bed and starts getting ready for school. recalling how he had to overcome various tests as a champion before being able to return home. Suddenly, he realizes that Erica is lying in his bed in her first birthday suit, making him freak out, and while she places her order on what she'd like to have for breakfast, he scolds her, telling her to put on some clothes. During breakfast, Kusanagi's sister tries to understand why Erica is living with him, and he explains that he didn't want Erica around, stating that she suddenly started acting very friendly to him. However, Shizuka still doubts him, and to make matters worse, Erica says that she decided to accept his love, bringing up the fact that she practiced mouth-to-mouth resuscitation on him, which makes Kusanagi panic. As he tries explaining that it was to defeat a god, he realizes it's pointless since it's too unbelievable, and while trying to defend himself, Erica tries hypnotizing him with her milk reservoirs, which he tries to resist. As he is about to feed his eyes on paradise, Shizuko blocks his view and tells him to follow her upstairs for a scolding, while Erica laughs at him. At school, Kusanagi acts exhausted and his friends notice this, so Kusanagi explains that Erica had intruded on his home, causing his sister to get pissed at him. Just then, his pal tells him that a new student transferred to their school from Italy, but he doesn't pay any attention since he is thinking about what happened in Italy and how Erica explained that she unlocked his sword by kissing him. Before Virathragna disappeared, he praised Kusanagi for defeating him, telling him to remain undefeated till they fight again, and then handed him his Maharaga wheel. While thinking, Kusanagi's brain seems to be on a high ping, as he finally gets what his pal was telling him, and suddenly the teacher tells them to pipe down, then introduces Erica to the class, which makes Kusanagi become a member of the Blue Man's group from the shock. As she tells the class about herself, she doesn't waste time telling them that she is engaged to Kusanagi, causing the class to erupt in surprise, and she proceeds to leave her lip germs on his cheeks. Following this, she uses an Itachi-level genjutsu on the chick seated next to him, taking her spot so she could sit close to Kusanagi, making him panic, and when he asks why she's there, she tells him she decided to stay in Japan for a while, so she's trying to settle in. While he tries getting more details from her, his pals get pissed at him since they feel betrayed and jealous that he has a hot chick going after him. While they jump him like it's a Jujutsu Kaisen battle, Erica makes things worse by revealing that they spent the night together, causing Kusanagi to panic and drag her out of there, only for him to realize that he took someone else outside. After school, Kusanagi walks home with Yuri and she apologizes for sneaking up on him, but he tells her not to worry about it. Then he says that everything Erica said wasn't true. Just then, she reveals that she knows he is a Devil King, telling him to punish her for lying to him, and this surprises him. Just then, a low-budget Nanami shows up and introduces himself to Kusanagi, revealing that he is from a government committee that monitors individuals in incidents involving magic. Later on at a shrine, he tells Kusanagi that Hime and Yuri are his associates. While they talk, he reveals that Yuri purposely followed him out of the class as a way to make contact with him, since they found out he was a demon king, and Yuri comes out to apologize once again, but Kusanagi tells her he's cool about it. He then tells her to act freely around him, rizzing her up, and then asks why they wanted to talk with him, so Amakasu reveals that it's about Erica. Afterwards, Kusanagi arrives at home, and Shizuka welcomes him with a smack on his head, telling him to back off from Yuri as she's out of his league, and he tells her she isn't his spec. Immediately, she makes mention of Erica. His mood changes, which shocks Shizuka, and he then walks to his room. Just then, he ponders what Amakasu told him about Erica, that she never let any guy touch her. And this confuses him since she suddenly wants to get into his pants. Amakasu proceeds to say that Erica may have been sent by her association to recruit him, and this upsets him. However, he still doubts this since Erica doesn't seem to be that kind of person. And just then, he sees her beside him. When he asks what she's doing there, she says she wants to spend time with him since they love each other, and this pisses him off, so he tells her to get the hell out. He then tells her to come clean about wanting to get him into her association, but she tells him she doesn't intend to do that, and suggests he spend a day with her so she can clear her name. The following day, Kusanagi is pissed that Erica set their date in Italy, and Ariana tells him that Erica will be arriving shortly before running off to carry out her duties. Soon after, Kusanagi enters the female Killua's domain expansion, and he soon figures that she is a god like himself. Although she wants to fight, he tells her he doesn't want the smoke, and this disappoints her, so she taunts him before pulling an Itachi disappearance. Just then, Erica shows up with representatives of the Magic Association, and tells him that they came to see how strong he is. Following this, she suddenly pulls out Excalibur, and attempts to dice him like she's auditioning for Food Wars, which makes him freak out. When he asks why she's taking the fight so seriously, she says that this knockoff Chunin exam is to draw out his power, and after this, she summons Cyborg Mufasa to attack him. So he activates one of his powers, taking down the beast, and this impresses the reps. Following this, she sends Rasengan at him, but he moves faster than Wally West to easily evade it. After a while, he lures Erica to the battleground and creates an opening, eventually taking her down. After she admits defeat, the reps finally understand why Erica had been glazing Kusanagi, and they decide to entrust a very powerful weapon to him in preparation for a prophesied battle that's coming up. After Erica lets Kusanagi know that they've accepted him, she tells him to develop plot with her since he's already put her in a heated yoga position, and this makes him freak out. She then continues to tease him, but he suddenly locks in and asks her to tell him what she really wants. She then lets him know that her feelings are sincere, claiming that she's the only person who can be with him, and then hands him a medal. The following morning, as Yuki prepares to head to school, Amakasu meets up with her and tells her that a huge disaster is about to occur, which involves Kusanagi. While walking to school, Yuri says she doesn't believe Kusanagi would be involved in anything that'll put the world in danger, so Amaterasu tells her to confirm from her, and just then, they spot him walking into school with Erica holding him like a purse, even though he's complaining of how clingy she is. When Erica opens up her locker, she finds a Niagara Falls of love letters, which she ignores and heads to class. While everyone glazes her, when she arrives in class, Kusanagi comments on how popular she is, and she says it can't be helped because she's prettier than Mona Lisa. However, he notices that people are starting to hate him, and some of her fans comment that the pair is similar to Beauty and the Beast, with Kusanagi being 3 times uglier than the Beast. This upsets Kusanagi, but Erica tells him not to worry since he has her in his life, and assures him that even though everyone in his life abandons him, he'll still be happy because she'll be by his side, claiming he'll understand what she's saying someday. Even with this, Kusanagi is still exhausted from all the backlash of being with her, and while in the hallway, Yuri bumps into him. She then asks him to talk with her for a bit, and the two head to the rooftop. While there, she apologizes for disturbing him since he's a king, but he tells her not to treat him so formally and says he doesn't want to be involved in any god or king stuff, which surprises her. While they talk, she tells him that Amaterasu sent her to verify something from him, and when she asks if he has a divine instrument that'll bring peril to the world, he doesn't seem to know what she's talking about, making jokes about it. This, however, upsets her, making her scold him, so he asks if it's like a grimoire and says that he has enough troubles with his granddad's tablet so he would never bring another one back to Japan, which makes her relieved. He then asks about the instrument and she tells him it looks like a medal. As she continues to describe it, Kusanagi recalls that Erica handed him something similar, and unexpectedly drops it in Yuri's hands, explaining that he felt some magical energy coming from it, but didn't take it seriously since Erica gave him. This makes her angrier than the Hulk, and she scolds him about not taking his position as the Devil King seriously, telling him that everything he does affects the world. When she makes him understand that he could bring an end to the world if he makes a mistake in his duties, he becomes freaked out and she proceeds to let him know that Japan may become the center of a prophecy. After this, she takes him to the shrine and tells him about the prophecy, stating that the metal contains so much power that it'll transform an ancient goddess into a vengeful being. When he suggests destroying it, she says it's protected by very powerful magic and that even Merlin can't seal it away. Just then, Erica meets them, figuring that Yuri must have told Kusanagi everything about the metal and the prophecy, then says that she's the only one meant to be close to Kusanagi. When Yuri confronts her about bringing the divine instrument to the country, she simply says that she has entrusted the matter to Kusanagi, as he is the new king, and adds that if the prophecy of destruction is true, only a champion can stand against it, which convinces Yuri. Following this, she asks Yuri to use her spirit vision to detect the goddess's location from the instrument, and although Yuri is initially hesitant, she goes ahead to track Athena, after which Erica and Kusanagi head in her direction. Shortly after, they run into Athena, who immediately puts them in her domain expansion and tells them that she is the goddess the prophecy spoke about. When she says that she'll battle Kusanagi for the divine instrument, he refuses to fight her, but she says that he doesn't have a choice since he took the snake away from her and asks for his name. After finding that the instrument isn't with them, she suddenly attacks them, but Erica quickly shields them. Just then, she reveals that the power Kusanagi took from Verithragna was small, but her instincts still tell her he's a big threat, and he tells her to give up on fighting him. Although she understands that their fight would only bring continuous pain to both of them, she refuses to back down since a peaceful settlement is too boring, and unexpectedly she uses her haki to cage Erica. Following this, she becomes Prime Minato, teleporting to his face and tells him he has the traits for a future hero, claiming that she had wished to see his fate. Just then, she uses his face as a straw and sucks a lot of energy from him. Even after taking in her deadly kiss, Kusanagi remains on his feet, which surprises her, and after a short time he collapses while telling Erica to save herself. Before Athena can open him up like a purse, Erica breaks the cage and prepares to attack her. Even when Athena lets her know that she's not a godslayer, Erica still makes up her mind to fight her since she wants to protect Kusanagi. Immediately, she goes in for the attack and Athena easily evades all her attacks. Eventually, Erica cuts her and this impresses Athena since it's been a long time since a human injured her. She then tells her that she would have rewarded her, but she has to end it there since she's protecting Kusanagi, and as she attacks Erica, she realizes it's a shadow clone. Following this, Erica attacks her from behind and Athena turns her weapon into dust but suddenly gets trapped while Erica escapes with Kusanagi. Meanwhile, Yuri runs into Liliana as she heads towards the fight, and when she asks why she's in Japan, Liliana asks her to hand over the divine instrument, which shocks Yuri. However, Yuri refuses to hand it over, revealing that she has to seal it while the others delay. Athena, and Liliana decides to forcefully take it from her. But before she can attack her, Amaterasu pulls up, trapping her in a barrier as he escapes with Yuri. While they are running away, he asks if she still has the instrument, and she confirms it's still with her. On the other hand, Kusanagi uses his power to gain consciousness and finds Erica beside him. She then updates him on what happened while he was knocked out, and he apologizes for putting her in harm's way. But she tells him to apologize by doing the dirty hip dance with her, making him nervous. After a while of foreplay, Kusanagi asks about Yuri, and she tells him Amaterasu is helping her out. She then adds that Athena will soon locate the instrument, and proceeds to give him the option of letting her revive her powers, which will mean the end of the world, or locking in to stop her. This motivates him and he decides to fight her, but can't shake the feeling that Erica planned it would happen that way. He then asks that Erica give him all the information on Athena so he can defeat her with his sword, and while she transfers it to him through tongue-to-tongue Bluetooth, They get interrupted as Kusanagi notices that Athena is covering the city in darkness. On the other hand, Amakasuwa and Yuri are stuck in traffic when they get the news of a storm coming, which they know is because of Athena. Just then, they figure that the prophecy is being fulfilled, and Athena will soon recover her true form. This makes Yuri panic, and Amakasu suggests they walk to their destination, although he thinks they can't run from a god. Meanwhile, Athena completely clouds the city and sends Itachi's clones to find the instrument. In the meantime, Kusanagi and the group drive around looking for Athena, and as he comments about Ariana's reckless driving, he spots Athena's birds around. After Erika explains that they're the avatar of the god of death, Kusanagi asks why they're working for Athena, since she's the god of wisdom, and she says that the origins of the gods are complex, then suggests they continue from where they left off at the park. Even though he feels uncomfortable doing it in front of the other girls, she assures him it's okay. However, he notices Ariana staring at them, which scares him since she's driving. Before Erika can make her move on him, Yuri calls his phone and he asks if she has made any progress on sealing the instrument. Unfortunately, she hasn't been able to seal it, and she gets nervous since Athena seems to be closing in on them. In response, he tells her to abandon the instrument if things go south, assuring her he'll take care of it, but she refuses his advice since it's her job to protect it. So he tells her to summon him if things are going downhill, claiming he'll be there, and she asks if that's one of his powers, but he says he's not sure since he hasn't fully figured out his abilities yet. This confuses her, and she comments that he's very irresponsible since he's making a promise he's not sure he can fulfill, but says she'll try it anyway. Hearing their conversation, Amakasu asks when they became so close, and she doesn't get why he'd assume they're close. Seeing that she's denser than a block of metal, he decides to ignore her and check if he can assist in sealing the instrument. In the meantime, Erika realizes they can't get to their destination if they continue in the car, so she decides to go on foot with Kusanagi, and on their way she talks about his conversation with Yuri, figuring that he's planning to use one of his powers to get to her. While they talk, he admits that he's worried he put Yuri in danger, and Erika tells him he shouldn't worry about it, but he should put that energy into protecting her. She also adds that Yuri is stronger than he thinks, saying that she's permitting him to know her better, which confuses him. So she explains that she's letting her be his side chick in their harem, threatening to turn him in burger patty if he doesn't treat her like his #1 girl, but he doesn't take the conversation seriously. Just then, they spot Athena trying to act like Thor, and Erika figures that she has reached her destination. On the other hand, Athena demands that Yuri give her the instrument, but Yuri refuses to turn it in. So she traps her in a corner, and while she prepares to attack her, Yuri hopes that Kusanagi will show up. However, Liliana shows up to save her instead, and protects her from Athena's Kamehameha, telling her to hand over the instrument, but Yuri refuses to do so. After blasting them away, Athena sees an opening and captures the instrument. Following this, she activates it and transforms into her full form, making Yuri panic. However, Athena realizes she can't handle her powers properly, figuring that it was temporary, and Yuri realizes that she has to think harder about Kusanagi so he can teleport to her location. Just then, she calls out to Kusanagi and nothing seems to happen. But while she passes out, he gets there in time to catch her, asking if she's okay. Seeing Liliana, Erika reveals that she figured she would be there and asks if she was protecting Yuri, but she quickly runs away. Seeing that Kusanagi is still alive surprises Athena. However, she says she expected nothing less from her sworn enemy, and after checking if Yuro is okay, Erika tells Kusanagi to summon his Zanpakuto. After summoning his sword, he activates it and tells Athena for the last time that he has no plans to fight her, but Athena says he's too dull, claiming she wants all the smoke since she has claimed the Holy Trinity. Just then, she attacks him, but he easily blocks it and asks Erika to protect Yuri with her life, making up his mind to whoop Athena's bum. This pleases Erika as she feels he has finally locked in, and she gives him a good luck kiss, transferring all the information in Athena to him. This makes the sword in his hands and in his pants stronger, with the glow almost blinding Yuri. Just then, Hody turns into Byakuya, and Athena is pleased that he's ready to battle, saying they should find out who's the strongest god. Just then, they begin to battle, and Yuri gets worried about Kusanagi, but Erika tells her to have faith in him, explaining they are in his domain expansion, which is stronger than Sukuna's domain. While fighting, Kusanagi stands his ground for a while and decides to retreat, but Athena summons a giant version of Orochimaru to block him off, claiming that she wouldn't let him chicken out of the fight so easily, since they're in a battle to determine who's stronger. However, Kusanagi reveals that he wasn't actually running, but wanted to lure out all of her snakes, and after defeating one of them, he reveals that he has figured out how her power works. After defeating the second serpent, he begins to expose her origin, and this pisses her off, causing her to fight back. However, Kusanagi nullifies her attacks and goes in for the attack, which she blocks with a barrier. Soon after, he sends attacks that slowly crack the barrier and finally launches himself at it, breaking through it. Seeing this, Yuri is shocked that he is overpowering her, and Erika explains that his sword makes him able to cut through Athena's divinity. Hearing this, Yuri thinks he has the upper hand, but Erika says that Hodu would soon use up his energy, and tells her to take care of herself while she goes to assist him. Just then, Athena begins to overpower Kusanagi, as she figures that he is out of energy, so he decides to go plus ultra, and summons Thunder to attack her. While she is distracted by it, he borrows Erika's spear and turns her into a donut. However, she manages to get back on her feet but is too weak to fight. And instead of ending her, he tells her to never return to that country, claiming that he never intended to end her, but he just wanted to show that he can defeat her. After she disappears, he suddenly collapses, and Erika reveals that everything went according to her plan, which shocks Kusanagi. Just then, Yuri meets them, and just as they're feeling relieved, she asks what they'll do with the giant crater he created, making him freak out. The following day, while having breakfast, Kusanagi sees the news about the crater on TV, which worries him, but Erika tells him to relax since the magic agency will handle it. And while he is still surprised that she came to the house, Yuri walks in claiming that she won't hold back when scolding him since he is very irresponsible. While pulling him away from Erika, Shizuka scolds him, thinking he has done something to offend her, and the two almost split him in half. The following morning, Kusanagi struggles to get Erika out of bed, and she complains about him being so forceful with her. As she sits up, he notices that she has all her goodies out, making him freak out, so he turns away so she doesn't see his trouser dragon turn to stone. Seeing this, she takes the opportunity to tease him, and this drives him crazy. On the other hand, Yuri has a dream about Liliana where she is reporting to her boss about being ready for a certain ritual, and while they talk, Yuri suddenly has flashes of werewolves from Twilight before waking up. Later on, Yuri ponders the dream she had, trying to figure out who the boss was, and Hikari jump scares her, complimenting the lunch she made for Kusanagi. Since she hasn't told her about Kusanagi, Yuri asks how she found out about him, and she reveals that Amakasu told her, which disappoints Yuri. When Hikari assumes that she's trying to make a move on Kusanagi, Yuri becomes confused, so Hikari explains what she means in clearer terms, and this makes Yuri crash out. While this is happening, Hikari ignores her and suggests she pack a bigger lunch for Kusanagi. Still bothered by Hikari's assumptions, Yuri desperately explains that she's hanging around Kusanagi to properly guide him on how to be a king. But Hikari doesn't even hear what she's saying, and mentally weds her to Kusanagi, which puts wild thoughts in Yuri's head. While at school, Yuri thinks about what Hikari said and starts entertaining the thought of being with Kusanagi since he seems friendlier than a typical campion. However, she walks into the classroom to find Erika using Kusanagi as a chair, and while he complains about it, she loudly he usually likes when girls glaze him, claiming that he gave her sweet loving when she innocently asked for it that morning. Trying to clear the air, he says she wasn't awake, which makes matters worse, and the whole class becomes riled up. Just then, he feels a spiritual pressure that rivals Captain Yamamoto's, and sees Yuri staring at him with her scarlet eyes, which scares the crap out of him. She immediately scolds them for acting inappropriately, particularly pressing on Erika since she comes from a noble family. However, Erika couldn't care less as she claims that her body belongs to him. This pisses Yuri off as she states that there's a time and place for such acts, while the two recreate the Baru vs Jinwoo aura clash. Later during PE class, Erika becomes Prime Babe Ruth and everyone begins to deride her because of how well she's playing. While Kusanagi drills over her, Yuri meets up with him, claiming that Erika may be using magic, but he assures her that she could never do such, since she's the type of person to always put up a fair fight. While they talk, Kusanagi says that Erika may be underhanded sometimes but would never cheat in matters like these, and Yuri realizes that he trusts Erika with his life, so he explains that he has to trust her since she has saved his life a couple of times. While Yuri talks about being comfortable with her lack of athleticism, Erika spots the two discussing and decides to break them up, asking Kusanagi to participate as a catcher in the game. However, he turns down her request, explaining that he was a very good father in middle school, but he had a shoulder injury which halted his career, and that he wouldn't want to participate in the sport since his shoulder got better because of magic. This amazes Yuri, and when Erika spots that she's giving him googly eyes, she decides to taunt her into agreeing to play, which forces Kusanagi to be the catcher. As Erika prepares to pitch, Kusanagi talks to Yuro about their game plan, and she uses her power to predict where Erika will pitch the ball, so he tells her to swing as hard as she can. However, as Erika pitches the first ball, he soon realizes that she's weaker than a string of cobwebs as she misses every swing, and this makes him worried. Even in their situation, Kusanagi still believes they can win, so he takes a timeout to re-strategize with Yuri, telling her that he's figured out exactly where Erika would pitch next, and says that she should trust him when he tells her to swing. Just then, Erika swings the ball and Kusanagi signals Yuri to swing, which she does with her eyes closed. Thinking she hit the ball, she begins to celebrate, but she soon finds that the ball went straight at Kusanagi's family jewels, knocking him out cold, which makes her freak out. On the other hand, Liliana scouts the crater Athena left begging from the battle, and Amakasu meets her there, asking if she's looking for anything in particular. Figuring that he's sus of her, she immediately leaves, and Amakasu assumes that she's looking for the instrument that Athena dropped. Later that day, as Kusanagi has lunch with Yuri and Erika, Yuri apologizes for turning his Dragon Balls into dust, but he tells her he's fine since he has a little masochist in him. And while they prepare to have their meal, she pulls out a massive lunchbox the size of Mount Everest, which shocks everyone. She then explains that she made enough to share with them, and Erika begins to tease her, claiming that she made it to get into Kusanagi's pants, which makes Yuri nervous. After she says that she's just fulfilling her duties as a servant of the king, Erika randomly asks if she has a phone, and Yuri replies that she doesn't, which surprises Kusanagi since he saw her with one when he fought Athena. She then explains that she borrowed Amakasu's cell phone, adding that she isn't good with electronics, and Erika suddenly says that Kusanagi should accompany her to get a phone after school, which surprises him. Although Yuri thinks she doesn't need one, Erika says that it's important for her to have one, so she always keeps tabs on Kusanagi since he's very irresponsible, and says that it's a chance for her to speak to him more often, which makes Yuri nervous as she realizes Erika is teasing her. This makes her shy, so she runs off to get some beverages, and Erika tells him to keep Yuri close since her powers would benefit him. But she becomes jealous, threatening to send him to the lobby if he hits on more girls. After school, Kusanagi takes Yuri to a phone shop to get one for her, and while there, she lets him know that it's her first time going out with a guy that's not her father, which makes both of them shy. Just then, the saleswoman approaches them and takes them to see some phones available, but Yuri becomes overwhelmed by the choices since she doesn't know much about electronics. To help, Kusanagi shows her his phone, telling her about it, and she decides to use the same model as him, since it'll also be easier for him to teach her how to use it, which the simp can't say no to. Just then, Yuri senses someone watching them but doesn't see anyone suspicious behind them, and assumes that she was just being paranoid, when in reality, Liliana was actually tailing them. After they get the phone, Kusanagi takes her to a park to show her how to use it, and he gets a headache just trying to show her how to save his number on the phone. After what seemed like eternity, she finally saved the number and was able to call him, which made her very happy. She then states that she's sharing a lot of her first times with him, and this makes him shy, although Yuri doesn't realize what she said. When he gets back home, he gets a call from some random dude he battled in Italy, and although he doesn't want to talk to him, the dude tells him that Vobin, who is a low-budget Dracula, is in Japan, suggesting that Kusanagi pick a fight with Vobin, which makes Kusanagi panic. Before Devani can finish talking, he cuts the call and decides to report to Erika, but suddenly changes his mind when he sees Yuri's contact. While he's calling her, she gets abducted by Liliana before she can answer, and she takes Yuri to Vobin. While there, Vobin reveals that he set up Athena's revival so he can have a worthy opponent to fight, but the plan didn't go through because of Kusanagi, so he's decided to use it for a ritual to revive another opponent, which makes her scared. Just then, Liliana remembers when she first met Yuri in Vobin's den of hotties, and how scared she was when she saw Vobin. On the other hand, Amakasu informs Kusanagi and Erika of Vobin, telling them that Yuri has been kidnapped by him. This confuses Erika as she can't figure out what Vobin would want to do with Yuri, and Amakasu says that this isn't the first time he's kidnapped Yuri, but says that he can't tell them every detail of what's going on since time is of the essence. He agrees to save her, which worries Erika. However, he tells her he was aware that Vobin was in Japan and says that he'll handle the matter by himself, which makes Erika scold him since she's his knight. He then assures Amakasu they'll take care of the situation, asking him to point them in Vobin's direction, which Amakasu quickly does. In the meantime, as Yuri realizes that Vobin intends to resurrect a heretic god which would bring destruction, she refuses to be a part of it, choosing to be sent to the gulag instead, which shocks Liliana, and even though she desperately begs him to change his mind, he still insists on forging ahead. He then pulls a Jinwoo, summoning his dead servants, and threatens to end her so he can turn her into his servant so she won't have the will to resist his order. Just then, she uses her ability to see through his powers, which impresses Vobin, and she goes on to reveal that he had slain the Egyptian god of the underworld, taking its powers. This makes Vobin sure of his decision to kidnap Yuri, and he goes into Cloud 9 from joy. Shortly after, Kusanagi arrives with Erika at the location, and although Kusanagi isn't sure Yuri is there, Erika confirms that she's there, stating that she tailed Liliana when she discovered she was in Japan. Then the two head into the building. Immediately, they are greeted by the living dead version of the Knights of Camelot, and while Erika handles them, they report to Vobin of their arrival, which he orders them to handle. While taking care of the small fries, Erika tells Kusanagi what they are, and they soon run into a mage that summons one of the golems from Clash of Clans, and seeing that Erika's hits isn't make much impact in it, Kusanagi suggests using one of his powers on it, but Erika stops him, claiming that she can handle it. She then reveals that the weak point of the golem is located on its head, and she proceeds to take it down. On the other hand, Liliana looks after Yuri and she thanks her for it, but she tells Yuri not to thank her, which reminds Yuri of the first time she met Liliana. While they talk, Yuri tries catching up with her, asking how she's been, but Liliana isn't interested in talking, and tells her that Kusanagi is interested in fighting Vobin, claiming that he's naturally drawn to chaos since he's a Campione. Yuri defends him, claiming that he's the Naruto of their universe, and Liliana tries to convince her that she's right since he became a Campione by fighting other gods. When she sees that Yuri still believes he's different from the other Campiones, she gets pissed and walks away. In the meantime, Erika keeps protecting Kusanagi from the Walking Dead's attacks, and she soon realizes that he's as blind as Toph, so she decides to summon Scar to take care of the enemy. When he admits that he feels useless, she tells him she must protect him as his knight, saying he should save his strength for his fight against Vobin, and before they head in, tells him that Vobin is the most ruthless Campione at the moment. So the two forge ahead, and after defeating a few NPCs on their way, they finally get to the boss room. When they enter, they meet Vobin sitting like he's Kratos, and he asks them to identify who they are. After introducing himself, Kusanagi asks him to return Yuri, but he refuses to do so, claiming that she's too valuable to let go and that she has been his property, which triggers Kusanagi. He then says that Godoy would have brought something of equal value in exchange for Yuri, rage-baiting Kusanagi, and before he can lose his cool, Erika takes over the conversation, telling him to follow Salvator's advice. This name rings a bell to Vobin, so Erika goes on to introduce herself and state that Kusanagi became close friends with Salvatore after their battle, claiming that Salvatore advised Kusanagi to whoop Vobin's butt, which makes Kusanagi nervous since she exaggerated what Salvatore said. This triggers Vauban, who asks if Kusanagi was the human who defeated Athena, and Kusanagi says he just drove her out of town. This gets on Vauban's nerves since the last heretic he summoned was defeated by Salvatore and Athena was taken from him by Kusanagi. Although he wants to try a Mortal Kombat fatality move on Kusanagi, he restrains his rage and suggests that Kusanagi play a game with him. He then summons Yuri, telling them to take her with them and says that if they outrun him till daybreak, he'll let go of her, giving them a 30-minute head start so it can be entertaining for him. While driving away, Erika lets Kusanagi know that he has to fight Vauban at some point, which he says he's aware of, and he goes on to say that Erika shouldn't have made Vauban angry, but Erika said that was the only way to bait him into a challenge. Just then, Yuri tells them to run away without her since he just wants her, claiming that she will be alright, but Erika calls her bluff since she knows that she survived her previous encounter with Vauban by pure luck, stating that she might not survive a second encounter. The fact that she wants to sacrifice herself for everyone upsets Kusanagi, and soon after, Ariana informs them that their time is up. Immediately, Vauban's wolves begin chasing after them, and Yuri still insists that they return her to Vauban, but Kusanagi refuses to do so, confident that he can defeat Vauban. Even when she tries to convince him, he still refuses to listen to her, and Erika lets her know that she can't change his mind. Kusanagi then tells her that he can't just sit back while someone threatens his close friend, and hands her the cell phone he got for her, telling her not to lose it again. This convinces her to go with his plan, and seeing them get along makes Erika jealous, so she reminds Yuri that she's his main squeeze, telling her to get used to his stubbornness. Just then, Ariana notices that the wolves are catching up to them, so Erika tells her to drop them off at an isolated building, and soon after she wipes out every one of them. Just then, Vauban appears and summons his strongest soldiers, so Kusanagi summons a fireball to wipe Vauban out. However, he tanks the attack, surprising everyone, and then sends what's left of his army against them. While Erika holds them back, Kusanagi becomes nervous and overthinks about his next move. Seeing this, Yuri makes him call down and he calls back Erika so they can regroup, then channels his inner Barry Allen, escaping with Yuri while Erika follows behind them. After a while, Erika fights off a couple of soldiers but soon runs into Liliana, who calls her a chicken for running away, as she usually loves to show off during battles like this, and after taunting her, she goes in for the attack. Meanwhile, Kusanagi arrives at a safe spot with Yuri, and he immediately starts feeling the effects of using his ability for a long time, so he asks that they rest for a while, and Yuri tries healing him but it doesn't work since magic only works on him if it is injected into him like an STD, which makes Yuri worried. Since she can't heal him through magic, she decides to massage him, claiming that her mother used to do the same to her when she got hurt and it helped the pain subside. While that is going on, Erika gets into a heated battle with Liliana and tries pulling a flash tornado attack, but Liliana sees through it. She then goes in for a direct attack, which Liliana easily evades, claiming she's familiar with Erika's game, and after Erika says her mouth runs faster than Usain Bolt when she gets heated, she charges at her. When she blocks a few of her strikes, Liliana decides to lock in, and the two clash head-on, exploding like 500 tons of TNT. In the meantime, Kusanagi asks for Yuri's advice on how to defeat Vauban in his wolf form, and she says she doesn't have any idea on how to do so, but she suddenly goes into the avatar state, speaking in proverbs about Vauban. Unfortunately, she doesn't know what the vision is about, and before Kusanagi can find out what it means, Amakasu interrupts them, stating that Erika needs their help. On the other hand, Erika is being pushed to the corner by Liliana, and she is impressed by how strong she has become. Just as Liliana charges at her, Erika asks if she is being forced to serve Vauban, as she is too kind to go along with his wicked schemes, and this triggers Liliana. She then claims that Erika is the cause of her problem, since she became Kusanagi's mistress, and gave her grandfather the idea to pimp her out to Vauban, so she claims that she must fulfill her duty as a knight. As she prepares to attack, Yuri stops her and tries to use talk no jutsu on her, but her, saying she was supposed to fight against the dark side, not to join it. While they're talking, a huge billboard flies towards Yuri, and Liliana blocks without thinking about it, and when Yuri thanks her, she becomes shy, claiming that she's just fulfilling her duties. However, she stands on her decision to defect from Vauban's team, and charges at Erika, but she suddenly stops when Erika mentions the location of a novel she wrote, quoting embarrassing lines from it about emotions. This becomes Liliana's kryptonite, and she tries to find out how she knew about her diary. After telling her, Erika threatens to show it to everyone if she doesn't defect from Vauban, and even when she threatens to end Erika so she can't snitch, she claims that people would find out about it from her will. This finally forces Liliana to join them, and Erika sarcastically says she's happy she voluntarily had a change of heart, which pisses her off. Just then, Kusanagi suggests that Yuri should tell Erika about her vision, since she might be able to interpret it, and she hesitantly agrees with him. As Vauban prepares to send out his minions to find Kusanagi, he sees that they've come to meet him, and he is also shocked to see Liliana on their side. After Liliana clearly states that she no longer works for him, Kusanagi tells him to keep his hands off her and everyone he cares about. This makes Vauban realize how naive Kusanagi is, since he's worried about other people while in the middle of a battle, and Kusanagi accepts that he is naive but counters him with the popular power of friendship. After this, Vauban tells him to back his word with action as he transforms into a Twilight villain. And although he is a bit shaken by Vauban's appearance, Erika steps up to boost his confidence, kicking up his testosterone levels by kissing him to summon both Zanpakuto and the sword in his pants. Just then, he turns into Prime Shakespeare, revealing how Vauban's powers work so he can render them useless while putting him in his simple domain, and eventually injures Vauban. However, Vauban finally understands that Kusanagi uses his words to deactivate his enemy's power, and uses reverse curse technique to heal himself before summoning an army to attack Kusanagi, but Erika and Liliana quickly step in to defend him since it's their duty. Liliana then asks if she has a plan to defeat Vauban, and Erika says they just have to hold off Vauban till dawn. However, Vauban says it's a stupid tactic since each of his soldiers can rival their power and the two still stand their ground. While they hold the army back, Yuri feels guilty since she can't assist in any way, and suddenly, she gets a vision about Vauban's power, which is helpful to Kusanagi. She then tells Kusanagi the source of Vauban's new ability so he can remake his sword to defeat him, but he isn't able to fully transform since the knowledge of Vauban's powers can't be transferred by words only. After Erika tells Yuri what she should do, she becomes shy, but since the group is being backed into a corner, she approaches Kusanagi, claiming that she has depended on others to always fight for her, and she wants things to be different this time around. Then she transfers the knowledge through a kiss. While they recreate 50 Shades of Grey, Erika and Liliana are being backed into a corner, and after the transfer is complete, Kusanagi transforms his sword, revealing how Vauban's power works as he wipes out his army. While they're happy that they've taken down the army, Kusanagi suddenly notices that Vauban is still active, and Vauban borrows Pain's ultimate push to send him flying. He then summons a spirit version of the Power Rangers and uses Shazam's powers to strike Kusanagi, but he is able to evade them. Just then, he stops the others from helping out and uses Kusanagi as a lightning conductor. Eventually, he fries Kusanagi, and this makes the girls get worried. Suddenly, Kusanagi enters the Avatar state, and Vauban strikes him down, thinking the battle is over. Surprisingly, he finds that Kusanagi is unharmed, and Kusanagi redirects his lightning attack like Trimuncle Iro. This takes up a lot of Kusanagi's energy as he drops to his knees, and just then, the girls show up by his side, showing their support for him. Suddenly, he realizes that he can draw powers from everyone, and eventually sends a huge attack at Vauban. After ganking the attack, Vauban prepares to engage him again, but Yuri steps in, and Erika points out that Vauban's time is up since it's dawn, which pisses him off. Seeing this, Vauban admits defeat for now, but promises to squash Hodoi when next they fight, and after he leaves, Yuri suddenly collapses, which worries Kusanagi. Erika then explains that the power he used draws the life force of those around him, and this makes him freak out, but Yuri tells him it's what she wants. Suddenly, Erika falls on her knee, and Kusanagi rushes to check on her, so she takes the opportunity to clean off Yuri's lip gloss from his lips using her mouth, making everyone freak out. Some days later, while having fun at the beach, Erika sends a ball at Kusanagi's face, which knocks him out cold, and she rushes to check on him, asking who would do such a thing to him. This triggers Yuri since it's obvious she shot the ball at him, and while holding Kusanagi in her arms, Erika reveals that she planned the trip to take her relationship with Kusanagi to the next level, which makes Yuri lose her mind. Before she can make a move on him, the other girls begin to form a human sandwich with Kusanagi in the middle, and this makes him very nervous. After this, Yuto decides to take a bath at a hot spring, and Zola decides to join her, while distracting her with mythical stories to set the mood. She then sneaks up on Yuri and begins checking if her bouncy castles are well inflated, making Yuri freak out. Just then, Ariana walks in on their heated massage session, which startles Yuri, and she offers them some milk but spills it all over herself as she slips while walking towards them, after which, she also spills that Erika sent her to keep them occupied. On the other hand, Erika takes Kusanagi on a boat cruise, claiming that she's glad they're finally alone, and Kusanagi clarifies that she forced him into it, but she says she had to do so since he didn't have the common sense to arrange time with her. Just then, he realizes he's partly to blame for his situation, remembering that Erika forced him to agree to go on the trip, and eventually, the other girls insisted on following him. Just then, she tells him to prepare himself for a fun time. But immediately, she takes off his restraint. He dives into the river and swims to shore, which makes Erika mad. When he arrives on the shore, he sees the girls in the hot spring, and they get mad at him, so he quickly tries to bail, but Yuri stops him, claiming she wants to talk with him. While scolding him, she expresses her disappointment by asking if he came to Japan to score hot babes, and she accidentally exposes her chest jellies, making her embarrassed, but she knocks him out instead of covering up. Later that night, Kusanagi decides to run off, since he'll have to pay child support to the girls if he sleeps around them, and on his way out he runs into Athena, making him nervous. After she lets him know that he's on her side of the block, he lets her know that he doesn't want any smoke, and she says that she doesn't want to fight him since it'll be too boring as he's too vulnerable at the moment. She then tells him that she's been excited lately, since she felt a battle approaching, and says that she wants to play around with him. She then takes him on a boat ride towards the city, and on their way Kusanagi spots a Heimdall's Bifrost open in the middle of the city. In the meantime, Salvatore enters a tomb he's been searching for, and before he can lay a finger on a glowing rock, Liliana stops him. After introducing herself, she tells him not to do anything rash, revealing that the rock was a seal on an ancient magical instrument, and that the magical waves it's been emitting have increased recently. Even after her warning, he says that he can resist his urge to go after such magical power and activates his power. After aura farming for a while, he cuts the pillar in half, and it releases a huge wave of magic. Just then, a magical beast appears from the beam, and Athena tells Kusanagi about the beast, revealing that a troublesome god is close by. While Liliana recovers from the blast, she tries figuring out why the beast appeared, and she soon sees the beast struck down by a mysterious guy. When she arrives at where it landed, she meets some dude who says he's a legendary dragon slayer, and that he has to turn the beast into an A1 steak. However, she begs him not to harm the beast since it may bring bad luck to the city, and even with this, he refuses to hear her out, claiming that he can't stop himself from ending the beast since it's his duty as a knight which he won't let anyone interfere with. Just then, the dragon decides to turn him into barbecue, and he easily blocks it off, then reduces its HP to 1. After watching him treat the dragon like a low-level slime, Liliana realizes how powerful he is, and before he can finish it off, Athena gets there in time to shield it. Seeing her there with Kusanagi surprises Liliana, so he quickly explains that Athena dragged him along, and after Athena expresses her disappointment in Perseus, he defends his reasons for hunting them. Seeing the two argue confuses Kusanagi, since Perseus is supposed to be an ally of Athena. However, he soon figures that she inherited Medusa's powers, making her Perseus's enemy. Just then, she absorbs the beast, and the two prepare to clash. However, Kusanagi stops them since they would cause a lot of damage to the city, and Perseus notices that Kusanagi is a Campione. After they tell Perseus about him, he reveals that Kusanagi is also his op, saying he wants to throw hands with him, and Athena agrees to back off so he can battle Kusanagi. Suddenly, Perseus prepares to attack, and Liliana quickly escapes with Kusanagi, so he doesn't get fried, letting him know that he's not ready to face Perseus. When they get to a safe distance, Liliana says they should head to a safe house that's close by for the time being, and explains how Salvatore caused the whole situation. She then suggests they come up with a plan of attack, and Kusanagi says he'll need information on Perseus's power, which Liliana says she can give him using her magic. However, he explains that magic doesn't work on him if it isn't given internally, and even when she's eager to do anything, he shakes off the wild idea he has, claiming he doesn't want her to act like Erica. Hearing this, Liliana feels he thinks Erica is better than her, but he explains that she has to kiss him for her magic to work, which makes her shy, and soon after, Perseus catches up to them. Since she can't help him with magic, Liliana decides to defend Kusanagi by fighting Perseus, but he easily blocks her attack, and before he can send her to the underworld, Kusanagi summons one of his beasts. This gives them a chance to slip away from Perseus, but he quickly chases after them and makes his beast into pork. While Kusanagi tries figuring out his power, Perseus begins to use them for target practice, and no matter what power Kusanagi uses, he always seems to seal them, eventually planting an arrow in his chest. This makes Liliana lose her mind as she rushes to check on Kusanagi, and soon after, she sees Perseus, who is preparing to launch another attack to completely erase Kusanagi. Just then, Athena steps in to save them, and Perseus expresses his disappointment since she didn't honor the 1v1. She then explains that Kusanagi is a knockoff version of Subaru, who gets stronger whenever he dies and comes back to life. This convinces Perseus to spare him, since he wants to fight a stronger version of Kusanagi, and he agrees to withdraw for the moment, saying that they should fight again when their wounds have been healed. After he leaves, Athena says she won't permit any weakness from God since she has to be the person to defeat him, and then she turns into a human chimney. Meanwhile, Kusanagi wakes up to find himself in the realm between life and death, and while talking with Pandora, he tells her how confused he is that his power didn't save him, but she explains that he has to fully die before he can activate it. She then informs him about Perseus' powers, but he doesn't seem to hear what she says as he keeps blacking out. Noticing this, she smacks him back to reality and completes what she has to say, wishing him good luck as he fades back to reality. Soon after, he finds himself in a clinic with Liliana beside him, and after filling him in on where he is, she tells him how worried she was, scolding him for taking a trip to the gulag. When he apologizes, she realizes how rude she is to him and quickly apologizes for yelling at a king, and even though he is cool with it, saying it's his fault for losing, she still begs for his mercy, claiming that she would have kissed him to give him info on Perseus. Just then, Karen walks in, and after introducing herself as an apprentice mage, she informs him that Liliana watched over him the entire night, which he thanks Liliana for, making her shy. Just then, Karen tells Liliana that Kusanagi wants something else from her, revealing that Ariana told her that he came to an isolated island with his harem, and goes on to imply that he came there to do what couples do on their wedding night with all of them. This makes Liliana freak out, feeling shocked that he's juggling 4 hot chicks, and she concludes that his aim is to capture the hottest girls in the world like Pokemon, so he can have joint advanced yoga sessions with them. Just then, Karen leads Liliana into thinking that he wants to plug his USB in her, and she immediately starts declothing, stating that he can have her body but will never have his heart. While she is in her Victoria's Secret apparel, Karen takes photos of her to upload on the hub, and Kusanagi loses his mind. On the other hand, the girls realize that they're stuck on the island as none of the boats are functioning, and their power supply has gone off. To make matters worse, there's no signal to contact Kusanagi, but they're aware of the incident that happened in the city nearby. While Yuri worries about him, Erica assures her he's fine and suggests they find a way to get off the island. Meanwhile, as Kusanagi tries to reach the girls, Liliana crawls into a corner because she is ashamed of what she did, and Karen teases her for it. Kusanagi then consoles her, claiming that it was hard for him to talk with her, but seeing that side of her makes it much easier, and this gets her on her feet. Just then, she suggests they find a way to defeat Perseus, and after a while of brainstorming, Kusanagi says that it would have been easier to find a solution if Erica was there, confusing Liliana. Suddenly, Karen escorts Kusanagi out of the room, claiming she has a private matter to discuss with Liliana, and while he is out, She tells Liliana to take advantage of her time alone with Kusanagi so she can become his main chick, which makes her freak out. She tries convincing her by saying that Erika's clan has had an upper hand over their clan ever since she got close to Kusanagi, and she tries guilt-tripping her with the loss of Vober situation. As a final attempt to convince her, she starts painting a picture of Kusanagi with Liliana, and she drools over the thought of it but acts like she doesn't want to. Meanwhile, Kusanagi finds a novel on the balcony and decides to read through it. This makes him cringe as its contents are worse than the third season of Seven Deadly Sins, and soon after, Liliana pulls up with a sword at his back, crying that he has found out about her secret and threatens to end herself after she ends him, making him panic. Just then, Athena joins them and takes them somewhere quiet to talk. While they talk, Kusanagi asks her for a way to defeat Perseus, since she got him into that situation in the first place, and although she refuses to do so, he tries to lure her into giving it up, saying that she'll get to fight him if he defeats Perseus. Just then, Liliana notices that he's enjoying the situation, and as he is about to accept a risky deal from her, Liliana stops him and drags him off. While walking away, Kusanagi asks why she interfered, and she claims he wasn't thinking straight. When he tries defending himself, she scolds him for almost risking himself, and as he thanks her, she quickly apologizes for being rude. Suddenly, she bursts into tears because everything isn't going as she plans. And this makes him panic since people's attention is fixed on them. After she calms down, Kusanagi explains that he appreciates her help because he needs all the support he can get from his friends, and this cheers her up. She then suggests they find a way to go up against Perseus, and before they head out, he tells her that her novel wasn't so bad, making her shy. While at the safe house, the two research about ways to defeat Perseus, but Liliana gets sidetracked and begins writing about different scenarios of Kusanagi being freaky with her. This makes her crash out, so she decides to step out to cool off, and after she locks in, she steps back into the room with some beverages for him. However, Kusanagi is shocked to find that it was drugged, and Liliana tells him to rest up while she takes the deal with Athena, even though it's very risky. Soon after, she meets up with Athena and takes up her deal, but after giving a piece of the information she needs, Athena decides to have some fun with Liliana as a sign of good faith. However, Kusanagi steps in to save her and convinces Athena to spare her. After she gives them what they need, she disappears, and soon after, Kusanagi collapses in Liliana's arms. Meanwhile, Salvatore captures the girls on the island and reveals that he can't let them help Kusanagi defeat Perseus, since he wants Kusanagi to get stronger by having a 1v1 with Perseus. Later on, Kusanagi gains full control of his body, and Perseus immediately invites him to battle with him. They then take the message back to the hideout, and after Karen listens to it, she tells Liliana to get freaky with Kusanagi so she can transfer the knowledge she got from Athena to him, which makes her freak out. While Karen tries to convince her, she says that she wants her first kiss to be someone who is meant for her, and Karen mocks her for it, claiming that Erika would laugh at her if she heard what Liliana said. This makes Kusanagi laugh, and he decides to take a bathroom break. As he leaves, Karen tells Liliana that Kusanagi might be the one since they have so much in common, but Liliana says he already has Erika, and Karen shuts down her statement by claiming that love is meant to be stolen. The two wait for a while, and Karen notices that Kusanagi is taking a while to return. Meanwhile, Kusanagi takes a bus to the center of the city and tries to locate Perseus on his own, but Liliana catches up to him. While they talk, she asks why he isn't doing everything he can to win, even suggesting that he order her to transfer the knowledge to him, but he isn't willing to force her. She then says it's his duty as a king to do whatever he can to win against the heretics, but he says the only reason he fights is to protect those around him, and it'll be wicked of him to put her in danger after she just got free from Vauban. As he is about to head out, Perseus intercepts him, telling him to go all out in their battle, and then takes them to an arena with thousands of spectators, while Salvor watches from afar, feeling excited about the battle. As the fight begins, Kusanagi throws everything he has at Perseus, but he cuts through his attacks like they were butter. He then mocks Kusanagi for using underhanded methods to fight as a godslayer, but Kusanagi says that his goal is to win no matter what methods he uses. Just then, Perseus activates his hacks and seals away his power, then proceeds to attack Kusanagi, sending him flying into a nearby mountain. This makes Liliana panic, and she rushes to check on him. However, Kusanagi isn't severely harmed since he blocked the attack with his arm, and after Liliana confirms that he's okay, she asks if he has a plan of attack. In response, he says he'll figure something out, and Liliana lets him know that Perseus is his worst matchup so far, but Kusanagi doesn't back down since he believes no one else can fight him. Suddenly, she gets a taste of him, telling him that they're similar, since they both believe they can fight alone, and says that she'll do all she can to support him. Following this, even though she is nervous, she requests that he take the lead so she can use her teaching ability on him, and although he hesitates to kiss her at first, she finally convinces him to do so. Initially, it doesn't work, so he tells her to open up like she's with a shrink, and when she eases into it, they have a heated lip-sync session while transferring her information to him. Meanwhile, Perseus thinks the battle is over, and as he prepares to launch the final attack, Kusanagi activates his trump card. Even with this, Perseus still counters all his attacks and mocks Kusanagi for talking during the fight. After a while, Kusanagi completes his activation process and clashes with Perseus, canceling out his power. However, he eventually put a hole in Kusanagi's shoulder, and he is able to use one of his abilities to send Perseus gluing, while Liliana rushes to check on him. Just then, Perseus bounces back to the arena, commending him for putting up a good fight against him, and Kusanagi is surprised he still has enough energy to go another round. He then threatens to take Liliana as his hostage, but she claims she can protect herself. And as she pulls out her weapon, Perseus uses a low-budget genjutsu on her, forcing her to fight against Kusanagi. While Kusanagi evades her attack, Perseus reveals that he uses this technique to control powerful warriors, so he can defeat dragons, and no matter how loud Kusanagi calls out to Liliana, she couldn't hear him. After a while, she pulls out her now, and Kusanagi summons all his energy to call out to her. However, she still fires the arrow in his direction. This time around, it hits Perseus, and Liliana snaps back to reality, claiming that Kusanagi's call pulled her out of the illusion. Just then, Kusanagi goes in for the attack, and Liliana backs him up, finally cursing an arrow that pins him to a pillar. After this, Kusanagi summons one of his beasts and orders it to crush Perseus. Suddenly, Kusanagi collapses from the damage he got, and before Liliana can heal him, Athena shows up and steals her kiss, causing her jump to the depression stage of grief. After healing his wounds, Athena praises him for doing well, and instructs Liliana to tell him that she kissed him as a reward for being victorious before leaving. Meanwhile, Perseus appears at a safe distance, feeling upset that he was beaten to a pulp, and as he tries escaping, Athena shows up to stop him. After she eats him for dinner, Salvatore appears in the aftermath and feels a bit upset that the situation didn't go according to his plan. The next day, while Liliana takes care of Kusanagi, the girls meet up with him, and Erika greets him with her sword. After Liliana blocks her attack on Kusanagi, Erika says that she wanted to punish him for wandering off, and Liliana defends him, claiming to be his knight. After Yuri congratulates him for defeating Perseus, Erika figures that Liliana had a thing with Kusanagi, and before he can explain himself, she begins to change the structure of his face. A couple of days later, Yuri is summoned by her association, and the messenger tells her that her mission is to strive to be Kusanagi's #1 babe. Seeing how shocked she is by the news, the chick figures that she's in love with him, stating that she's been assigned to join the harem, and tells her to handle Kusanagi's bedroom yoga while she takes care of his other needs, stating that she should inform Kusanagi about her. Later at school, as the group has lunch together, Liliana monopolizes Kusanagi and Shizuka scolds Kusanagi for bringing another chick back home. She also complains about Liliana stopping by her house every day, and to make matters worse, Erika says Kusanagi was her first, making Shizuka lash out at her. Seeing Liliana so close to Kusanagi seems to bother Yuri, and Erika notices this, assuring her that Liliana can never get into Kusanagi's pants since she's too naive. After class, Kusanagi finds a note inviting him to one of the club rooms, and Liliana decides to tag along. When they arrive there, they meet Yuri's partner there, and Yuri sitting quietly at the back. After Ina introduces herself, she informs him that she has been assigned to him as his new servant, and while they talk, she suddenly becomes very jovial, claiming she doesn't have to talk to him like her maid. Just then, she says that she and Yuri have been chosen to marry her, and this shocks Kusanagi. Later on, Kusanagi protests about being forced to marry baddies, and when Ina says he already has a couple of girlfriends, but he immediately says they're just his friends, bringing the room to an awkward silence. Just then, Ina asks Yuri if she feels the same way about him, warning that she won't give her a second chance if she lies about her feelings. And before she can answer, Liliana interrupts her, asking why Ina wants to disrupt Kusanagi's peaceful life. Just then, Ina calls Liliana second person based on strength, and this pisses her off, so Ina explains that she's only inferior to Erika because she keeps claiming to be a knight. Just then, Erika appears behind them, stating that she didn't see Kusanagi around, so she has to look for him. And Ina says that she would like to have a word with her since she's the ringleader of the harem. This worries Kusanagi, but she assures him they're just going to talk about politics and tells Liliana to leave the issue to her, so they all give the two some privacy. After waiting for a while, Hodu starts to get worried, but Liliana assures him that Erika will be fine since she excels at negotiations, and shortly after, Erika joins them there. After making sure the meeting went well, Kusanagi suggests they all head out to have lunch together, but Liliana says they should go without her, and Yuri says she has to get home on time. Meanwhile, Erika says she wants to give him time with Shizuka, who suddenly asks Kusanagi about Ina, and when he tries avoiding the question, she lashes out at him. After a while, Yuri and Liliana still seem to have some sort of beef, and Erika notices this, so she decides to take advantage of this and meets Kusanagi during lunch to invite him on a date, claiming that he knows what's happening between Yuri and Liliana, so she would get him to spill the beans. Later that evening, she calls Liliana to tell her that she's going on a date with Kusanagi, and this makes her lose her mind. While she rambles on, Erika throws her off topic as she starts talking about Liliana's new novels, claiming that have been more aggressive since she met Kusanagi, and this makes Lilian go crazy. After this, she decides to pick an outfit to wear and call Yuri to tell her about the date. The next day, Seika picks Kusanagi up for the date, and on their way out, she lashes out at him when she discovers that he hasn't had anything planned for the day. She then decides to take him shopping and scolds him while he waits for her to try on some clothes. To punish him, she teases him by telling him to join her in the changing room, and this makes him nervous since it pulls a lot of attention to him. After this, the two sit at a park, trying to decide where to visit next, and while Kusanagi gives a few suggestions, Arata says she has a place in mind. Meanwhile, Liliana almost goes crazy thinking about the date, but Yuri is as cool as a cucumber, and assures her that Erika won't take advantage of Kusanagi. While talking, Yuri expresses her disappointment that Kusanagi still considers her as just a friend after they fought together. But she understands that he still loves his friend, which consoles her. She adds that Erika understands him the most, and the two continue to hit it off. Meanwhile, Erika takes Kusanagi to the crater he created while fighting Athena, and although he doesn't feel comfortable seeing the mess he made, she says she's proud of the place since it reminds her of the first battle he won. After she scolds him for hurting the girls by calling them just friends, he asks if she's cool with him, and she says his words didn't get to her. She's more interested in his actions with her. As they're about to head back, Anna intercepts them and informs Kusanagi of her planned battle with Erika, which shocks him. Just then, they begin to fight, and Hodoi is surprised when he realizes they're fighting about how many babes he can clap. Seeing how intense it has gotten, he decides to risk his life to stop them, and Anna sees why Yuri loves him. While he tries to talk some sense into them, Anna activates her powers, and as he tries to stop her, Rick's wormhole opens up, transporting him to another dimension between life and death. Erika then charges at her, asking where he is, and Anna reveals where he is. Just then, she charges up her sword to attack. But Erika hops into the portal to find Kusanagi, and Ina chases after her. Meanwhile, Shizuka gets worried when she hears the news of an incoming storm, wishing that Kusanagi would call so she'll know he's alright. And suddenly, Athena crashes through the roof, asking for Kusanagi. Meanwhile, Kusanagi finds himself in a swamp and soon enters a house where he finds a huge dude sitting there. After he introduces himself to Kusanagi, he reveals that he's Ina's guardian, and Kusanagi is shocked that the dude knows him. On the other hand, Shizuka gets frustrated as Kusanagi didn't return home, and she's concerned about who Athena is. When Athena says Kusanagi has her everything about her, Shizuka gets the wrong idea and loses her mind. In the meantime, Aina battles with Erika, and she explains that she has more power than Erika in that domain. While she beats Erika to a pulp, the two continue to argue about Kusanagi's right to have as many hotties as possible, and Erika decides to lock in so she can quickly retrieve Kusanagi. Meanwhile, Susanoo tells Kusanagi about himself and how he retired to the Netherworld. Seeing he has no idea what he's talking about, Susanoo decides to make mention of Pandora, but he finds it difficult to remember who that is. While they talk, Kusanagi activates a strange power that lets him know exactly who Susanoo is, and is surprised to find his weapon in his hand. However, the dude says he doesn't want to fight and shows Kusanagi where Erika is, also telling him how to get there. Before they head there, he tells Kusanagi to take care of a little business with him, and Kusanagi tells him to be quick about it. On the other hand, Anna continues to school Erika, but she doesn't back down and says that her experiences with Kusanagi taught her not to give up. Hearing her talk about Kusanagi makes her want him more, so she transforms into Asta's demon form, and absorbs Erika's mana, causing her to fall to her knees. Meanwhile, Liliana senses her mana and Yuri locates them, informing Liliana that they are in the Netherworld. When she asks how they can get there, Amaterasu tells them he can help, and although Liliana doesn't trust him since he's a part of Enna's association, he explains that he honestly wants to help since the world is being covered in darkness. On the other hand, Kusanagi swoops in to save Erika and activates his powers to deal with Ina, but before he can attack her, she directs his attention to Erika so she can escape. Just then, he realizes she's very weak and decides to teleport to Susanoo for help, but he keeps arriving in the wrong locations, making him worried as Erika gets worse. Just then, she begins to tell him her last request, stating that she's not going to make it, and this makes Kusanagi frustrated. She then reveals her feelings for him, and he doesn't hear her out initially, but asks why she cares so much for him. After she says it was love at first sight, he finally believes her and gives her a passionate kiss. However, he soon realizes she'll soon go back to the lobby, and his frustration makes him fully activate his powers as he meets with Varathagna, after which he decides to have a heated yoga session with Erika. While they take a breather, Ina suddenly appears, and they realize that she was being controlled, so Kusanagi saves her from the monster, and she thanks him by practicing mouth-to-mouth resuscitation on him. As they prepare to fight the beast, the domain suddenly shatters, and Athena absorbs it. This confuses everyone as they try to figure out why she would attack them, and Kusanagi soon figures that it's Athena's alter ego. Kusanagi then reveals what Susanoo told him about Metis, and after this, she activates her powers then charges after him. But Athena is able to save him. Just then, Yuri uses her ability to reveal Metis' power. They then realize that Metis needs to merge with Athena to wreak havoc on the world, so Erika tells Kusanagi to run with Athena while she holds Metis back, and when he refuses to leave her, the girls convince him to agree with Erika. Just then, Amaterasu pulls up and Kusanagi runs away with Athena, leaving the girls to battle Metis. After they leave, the girls hype themselves up for the battle and begin fighting Metis. While Amaterasu takes them to a safe distance, he explains that Athena had lost her memory and tells him that her alter ego emerged from the divine instrument that got lost during their battle. Meanwhile, the girls continue to battle Metis, and Erika is able to put some pressure on her since she got an upgrade from Kusanagi. Not wanting to outshine, Liliana hops in to assist her, and they use the power of friendship to launch a huge attack at Metis. The following day, while Kusanagi watches over Athena at the safe house, she asks him about herself, and he says she once called herself a god before. While they talk, he explains that he used to think gods were mighty and beings with ridiculous powers, but his mindset about them has changed ever since he met them, as he realized they are more human than humans. Just then, Metis charges at them and Kusanagi jumps in to protect her. He then tells her to relax, promising to protect her, and then faces off with Metis. Although he tries his best, Metis beats him to a pulp, and Athena assists him, enabling him to land a solid hit on her. However, she comes out of his fireball unharmed and eventually absorbs Athena, transforming into her full form. Just then, the girls show up to assist him, and they all instill their power in him to fight her. After fighting for a while, Kusanagi is able to separate Athena from her, and while she tries to take her back, Athena regains consciousness. She then lends her powers to Kusanagi, and with the power of friendship, they give Metis the Gojo half-body look. After this, everything returns to normal, and Athena tells Kusanagi she had fun with him before disappearing. Comment down below, Erica best girl. If you finished the video, subscribe so you don't miss the next video.